just their perspective, so they can, like to see. So you have moved from different industry, and then you're in Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
And you're a provider. We call it the dark side, right? What is the white side? So on the dark side, in a company like Microsoft, is a technology-driven company. Does technology drive your corporate strategy, or does your corporate strategy drive your technology, and why is that?
Very good question. When I don't have the answer, I start with, thank you for the great question. That will buy me a few more seconds, right? But really, I think undoubtedly to me is the business drive the technology. I mean, from my point of view, at the core of everything, every business is about problem solving. It's not about technology, it's not about data, it's about problem solving. And it just happens that we use technology, AI, big data to be one of the enablers to solve the problem, right? You use AI, you use data, not for the sake of using it. So to answer your question, I think we are responsible to respond to the shareholder, the stakeholders' interests.
So that's not your answer, it's Microsoft's answer then.
It's from me as well, but in short, my answer is business drive the technology. And actually, I have a hierarchy in my mind. The business strategy should drive your data and AI strategy. And that data and AI strategy drive what technology solution that you would like to deploy. And before that, you should have a list of pain points and list of prioritized use cases. And then you pick the right tooling to solve your right problem, right? Don't pick the wrong tooling to solve the right problem. That's very, not very nice. But yeah, hopefully I can give you some of my 2 cents.
Sounds good. Okay, Millie, you're in a totally different sector of business. Yeah, you're considered one of the more forefront of everybody here because you're doing a little bit to that 5 to Web3 kind of thing, disrupting the banking financial industry for virtual bank. Yeah, that's your mission, right? And, you know, but I heard that from all the virtual banks pulled together, it's less than 1 million users. Right? From your perspective, does technology really drive corporate strategy, or does corporate strategy drive technologies?
I think you have asked me multiple questions. So first of all, answer your questions, original questions first. Which come first? I think it's chicken and egg questions, but it is also one of the questions which we have explored in the IMD Business School. I have just come back from the IMD course, the leadings in digitizations in September, and now with IMD, there are a lot of digital banking digital leaders in the course. It is a brilliant question. One of the questions we ask is about what actually digitization means, what actually advanced technology means. I completely agree with the professors there, Michael Wei. Technology is a tool. We respect. I totally, it's a worship technology. Technology is the future. but what really matters, it's a very useful tool to drive business technologies, a business strategy. When you have to come up with the business strategy first, and then you find the right tools, the right technologies, and assemble the right technologies to achieve this goal. It's not the other way around. So one of the examples I would give is ChatGPT or generative AI. A lot of people saying that, we have to use them. Then I have to ask, why? What do you want to achieve? And you know, and by itself, it may not be able to come up with a very useful solutions for your business. You have to combine with big data analytics, you have to combine with other things to come up with the solutions to fit in the business strategies. So come back to the questions. I think it must be the business strategy come first, and then we find the right technologies to serve the purpose.
Okay, thank you. So we have 2 that says that corporate strategy drives technology. At the end, I'm going to do a quick summary, and I'm going to play the devil advocate. I know it depends, the rest what they say. I won't spoil the fun. So what about, what do you think?
All right, yeah. So for me, whether technology drives strategies or whether business strategies drive technology. I myself, tends to agree that is business strategies that drive the kind of technologies that will be used as the tools to facilitate, to achieve the end goal. Recently, I've been speaking in one of the MBA class for Iowa University, and it depends on, different companies has different industry stage of development, and also depends on the government support and government policies. And at the end of the day, you do everything to achieve the matching of customer needs, right? So if you don't match the customer needs, nothing makes sense. So, and for different industries and different businesses, I'm sure technology map with the sales strategies, the products development, the marketing and branding, and then you have financial and investment strategies, and also the risk and operational efficiency management, right? So I believe that for technologies and business strategies, they work hand in hand, but then these strategies work across the spectrum of the aspect that I just mentioned to help a company grow. For my expertise, for example, in private equity setup, in IPOs, because I am part of the member for the Hong Kong Independent Non-Executive Directors Committee, and also, I'm part of the Web3 Association board member as well. But I believe, there are lots of advising, that I've been given to listed companies that they are requesting technological development to map with their strategies in different spectrum in order to feed end customers' needs.
And how's that reaction? How did they react to that?
Yeah, actually, it is a learning process, Akina. And right now, because for example, in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong the stock exchange, has required all the listed company to, issue ESG reporting. And thank you to PwC, one of our very trusted partner that we work with as well, to issue ESG reports. That I myself also and my team of experts have to engage with technological development and ideas for ESG's related policies. And just to wrap up, for example, we do investment in a lot of the green funds, and my team also set up green funds for companies interested in doing, for example, solar development, electric cars. There is even vertical agricultural development, things that is now innovative in the ecosystem to provide a better living standard for mankind, in order to do tradable carbon credits and to reduce carbon emissions. So we do investment and advise on investment to create returns for investor on things like that require a lot of technological advancement. Right?
That's great, yeah. Thank you. That's great initiative, because ESG is what we need, because if not, we're going to die early, right? Because the Earth is going to die early. And Jackie, what about you? What do you think?
So if you ask me, does a corporate business strategy come first or technical strategy? In the corporate world, unfortunately, I say unfortunately,
I love that word.
the business strategy will always come first because it trumps everything. So I would agree with the sentiment before, which says, well, technology follows, and technology has to find a solution, and technology has to be an enabler. However, I think where you find the best companies is where they can find a balance between the business and the technology, where there is a push and pull. If you think about it, AI has been around since the 1950s. You're just about to figure out how to use it. Any company that is not trying to find a use for it is going to be behind. But is that part of your business strategy? Not yet. Not yet. Because you're going to test it out. You're going to run. Chris, we run about, I would say, 70 different crews in AI right now within my company, right? Do we have a business strategy? Yet. No. Should the technology strategy pull us and drag us towards it? Yes. Yes. So I think it's a little bit of, here and there. If you think about a lot of things that exist for us. 6G is coming. Do we know what to do with it yet? No, we don't even know what to do with 5G yet. But it's coming. So will we find a use for it somewhere? Yes. Will it drive the best of companies? Yes. Look how many companies ChatGPT is about to become the biggest app store right now. not anything else, ChatGPT, because businesses are coming out of the technology advancement. So I say, Amy, it's to me, if you ask me about corporate, well, unfortunately, there's a role you take and a line you take that says, line up to the corporate strategy, and that does have to drive everything. But if you think about how to get the best out of your organization, there's time and place for everything.
Yeah, I love that. So this is where I play my devil advocate. So in what I study, and I also teach at Hong Kong UST, the MBA courses here. So one thing I'm trying to let them differentiate is incremental innovation, which is driven by corporate strategy, because you have no choice but incrementally innovate. If you innovate too fast, your corporation might die or disrupt or collapse, right? So therefore, if you're going to start a new venture, new idea driven by technology, going after new customer, new sector, you have to spin it out. I always say, PayMe was developed inside HSBC, it would never exist. They were smart enough to have it as a separate entity. They built it successfully, gained a lot of market users and stuff. Then they roll it back in to incorporate into the whole corporate strategy and say, how are we going to make this bigger, right? So there is incremental innovation, which is driven by corporate strategy. But if you're using tech and create something new, like suddenly 5G, 6G comes out, what's going to happen? And then what ChatGPT can drive, it's called disruptive innovation. So there's a difference, and it depends what's your appetite is in your corporate level. Right, okay, back to the question. I'm going to start with you, Millie. So now, we talked about different type of strategy, how innovation drives, each company or vice versa. Have you seen any great example that you heard, have you seen, or your company itself has adapt something that you normally wouldn't, and say, oh my God, and it was either a failure, don't do it, please, or wow, this is amazing, everyone should do it.
As you know, our company is born digital. so everything is online, everything is digital. I think I don't actually have that kind of problem. But there are a lot, coming from a very conventional banking background, what I see the advanced intelligence can do is beyond my imaginations. Really, when I just started in virtual bank, I think two examples is what I really like about it. Is okay, front end. If we have two main products. One is online lending loans, and another one is online wealth advisory portfolio services. So
Is there an age range?
Sorry.
Because for wealth management, normally it's face-to-face.
Yes.
When you guys do online, you see there's a different age range of clientele, or it's the same thing as a bank?
To be honest, there are a lot of articles talking about a clientele. So you can see, of course, there will be some differences, but not that differences as you may thought. It is one of the breakthrough. Imagine in the past, you have to wait at a branch, face your BM, your RM, and then your RM just push some of the funds to you, and then without looking at the papers, and then you just sign something and give monies to them, and they already take you hours. So, but with online wealth management services, not only talking about my bank, but if you look at all the banks which offer online wealth management service or portfolio management service, you can do it. Account opening, less than 2 minutes. Funds, selection of fund suitability. I think suitability, in the past you do a very long questionnaire in the branch.
Is it the same requirement? Because I know bank, there's certain type of investment or certain people you can't advise them to invest in certain type of assets for online banking or for online wealth management. Is there such regulation also?
Of course. The only difference is we are being scrutinized more closely by the regulators. But the risk is, usually the risk at the branch for wealth management will be conflict of interest. But on online banking, there's no such thing because we don't have our. So everything you see is you choose. It's a self-execution only. They base on your answer and provide information to you on the products. So you choose your own products. You can also see your progress online. It is totally I would say, no matter on the lead time, no matter on the quality of the deliveries, no matter on the experience, I think this is just totally different from what I saw when I was with the bank. Similarly for loan, if you apply a loan in the bank, it takes days at least. But online, if you want to buy a Tesla car, if you want to buy an Apple iPhone, you just apply over the apps. It may take less than 15 minutes. That's all. So it's just a completely disruptions of the market, and that is what we want to do. And disruption doesn't mean we crash the market. I think what we are trying to do is to expand the market by selling something different to the market.
All right. Sharon, go back to you. Before we ask Shane that same question, I wanted to diffuse a rumor I heard. Right now, Microsoft is using AI to fire people. Decide who they should keep and who they should fire. Is that true or not true?
Well,
or do you know about it?
That is not the information for my pay grade. That's what I can say, right? But I really don't know, okay, first of all. But back to the question, I want to mention one interesting and simple example, which resonates a lot with my childhood experiences. So nowadays, if you go to one of the hot pot or Chinese yangcha restaurant, you would find the ticketing machine for the queuing, right? That's very convenient. But imagine 30, 40 years ago, as a kid, my duty every Sunday is go to the Chinese restaurant, stand one of the long round table here, staring on the customer.
I remember that.
And I spot that once they finish, I grab the seat, and that's my duty every Sunday for my family, to grab the seat for
But that's not a
lunchtime,
very innovative.
right?
It's been around for such a long time. The queuing to get it.
Yeah.
You're cheating. Give me something new. Come on.
Something new. I would say, well, maybe the CBDC program. I'm not sure whether anyone overheard about the central bank digital currency. And it's not only for mainland China, it's upcoming for Hong Kong very soon. It's already in pilot, actually. I think we will talk about that in the Web3 question later on, but I want to lightly touch on this because it is a whole new way of thinking, and it may impact some of our money supply and demand theory as well, right? Think about it, because the technology, we can better control the inflation, we can better control the supply of money in just a mouse click. If I want to control the inflation as a government officer, I can just program the digital currency to have a discount on all the fried rice in Hong Kong. Automatically, everyone will get 10% whenever you purchase a fried rice in one of the restaurants. And the same for other commodities in the market. It's just so easy to have better control, but you need to have a very good governance with that.
So it seems like you're for it then, and you're looking forward to a digital currency.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's happening anyway, so I think the only way is to embrace it. So yeah, hopefully that will give you some more latest.
We'll talk a bit more about it when we talk about Web3 at our final question.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to you, Amy. So Amy, so I know you have a lot of business, but please just pick one that you find that very interesting that has impacted because of certain type of usage of technology.
User of technology, okay. There are interesting things that I have seen, in the art and cultural development. For example, because I'm appointed by the government as the Western District Art and Cultural Association, so I've been engaged with a lot of artists in Hong Kong as well. And interestingly, by being on board of one of the young and Hong Kong-driven orchestra, I see that they are trying to use like metaphors and also, multi-dimensional, entertainment experience in the way they do performance. And then there are like creative ideas to link up with STEM schools, and also association that provides STEM educations in order to link up with contemporary art experience, and also even the M+ Museum or the other artistic exhibitions that you can see around the world, like even Sotheby's or Christie's, that they do NFTs on ancient art. And so I've been engaged to discuss this kind of technological interesting innovative idea to link technology and art and traditional art and cultural education. So that is one thing that I see is very interesting. And to answer Akina's questions, from my personal experience in banking and insurance industries, I see the use of technology has been very advanced in the past 10, 15 years. In terms of, I'm sure most of you have your own insurance policy, for example, and they may be bought through a bank. Maybe it is through now, speak through one-stop underwriting, that you don't even need to talk to someone. In the past, it's mostly human-driven or agency-driven. Now, in the past, with my corporate life, we do digitalizations on applications, and then on underwriting, and then now on claims management, and even customer service. So I think this kind of technological advancement has been developed very well in the traditional banking and insurance field to make it an easier world for everyone to work with. But for my own expertise, very different from Millie. By the way, I have an account with your WeLab bank as well. But I personally have to work with over 12 different private banks under my asset management team. So we have strategic partnerships with private banks that deals with legacy planning and also trust and global taxation and global asset management for our clients' portfolio. So it's quite different because I use you as a day-to-day transactional
But
services.
more B2C and you're more B2B, right?
But not really. We have super rich individuals
So family offices
that gives us money to manage and to grow their wealth. But we do it as a discretionary basis.
And use technology to help run your operation.
Yes, we do.
Is it in-house built or is it outsourced?
Outsourced. So yeah, feel free to talk to me. I'm happy to give you any solutions. But currently, we also have been approached by lots of friends in the industry, in the tech field, that do algorithm trading. Now, I don't mind algorithm trading, but people who purchase that can do that on their own. But our, expertise is the wealth of human touch, and we actually smell the change in the economic and news advanced more faster than the algorithm system. So we have to prove to the client that we actually work faster and we are more predictive than just an algorithm trading in order to maximize the wealth and to manage the risk. Because you cannot, I'm sure all of you, smart people and beautiful ladies and smart men here, you won't rely on just a machine to tell you the risk, right?
We can talk a little bit more about your algorithm later when we talk about AI. Jackie, so how about you? And you guys are doing a lot of stuff, trying at least, right? But we waiting to see the results. So share with us one of the most interesting projects you said that, oh my God, this is amazing when it's out, everybody's going to love us.
From where I was going to pick one that we didn't do.
Oh, okay, no, sure, no, share that too. Okay, no, that works too. Please do.
So I'm going to pick. This is one I think just about every major award in Hong Kong this year. This is everybody's been through the airport recently, haven't they? How amazing is that experience? That's a digital experience. That is digital and technology, IoT sensors, AI all at once, and I really like that experience. So I'm going to pick that's my top choice this year.
Even the whole thing about now you just recognize my face and it just opens the door and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. It's
Okay.
like 30 seconds and I'm at the gate and I love that experience. And I don't know how safe it is yet, right? But you asked me for a good example. That's a great example of technology coming together. The second experience that I want to nominate, and I think this, I don't know, I would like to see Apple disrupted actually. That would be the joy of my life. Not that I dislike Apple, I just want to see it disrupted. But I pinned something on my LinkedIn recently. It was called Humane AI.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
you saw that too?
I
I was
love
going to
that.
post about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a little pin. If you haven't seen it, just go to my LinkedIn and just look up Humane AI. It's a little pin. It basically integrates product design, human-centered design, and it's all literally at the touch of your palm. And it's all motion and gesture. And voice interactive, which is where I think machines are going to go. You're not going to have that machine interaction anymore. It's going to be literally human interaction, machine, which is voice activated. So back to more mundane things, which is what we do. A lot of what I like that we do that you may not actually see as a consumer is that we're one of the richest places for robotics, and the field of robotics really interests me. And I know this is not something a lot of people get to see or use every day, but I was quite fascinated in that we've got robots that can dig tunnels, that can sense tunnels, that can go into places where no human should ever go, like into turbines, down into ducts and things like that. And I think it's actually a really good use of technology because then you say, well, how hard is that? Well, it's actually quite hard. You know, how many times has that Mars rover crashed? Can't even get it to Mars and can't even walk across Mars. These are things that go into tunnels that are, 50 meters deep, tunneling through about 100 meters, doing the things that you humans are meant to do. And I think it's really good because this is where you get AI and tech for mankind, which is really about our safety, our well-being, looking after the fact that these are not jobs that you want your brother, your father, your mother doing every day, because it's actually got a very dangerous element to it, right? So we've got robots that will go down into turbines and determine the level of pollution and emissions within the turbine, and then actually have to clean it out. Now imagine having to send someone physically down there each time, and then physically having to clean out the bottom of the turbine. That's dangerous work. And so, I think those sorts of things are, they may not be ground shattering to people, and you might not see it every day, but that's really good use of tech.
Yeah, I do agree. So like now talking about AI and robot and stuff, one of the most controversial things is people think that, with generative AI coming out, are most of our jobs gone? Or the generative AI can start thinking on itself and kill all of us, right? So for those who doesn't know, there is a basic called the 3 laws of robotics. Has anybody heard of that law before? Okay, so you guys haven't? I can tell you what it is. It's been around since 1942 by Isaac Asimov. He's a writer and he talks about AI. The basic fundamental of all AI developed is based on this 3 laws of robotics. Basically, it says that law number 1, you are not allowed to kill a human being or harm a human being. Law number 2, you must listen to a human being at all times unless it violates rule number 1. Rule number 3, you must preserve and protect yourself unless it violates rule number 1 and number 2. So that's a fundamental in all AI development, right? Regardless if it's software or hardware. So given that it is behind the scene and is protecting us, the government is not officially has anyone come out and said, this is what generative AI should do or should not do. Who is responsible to make sure that guardrails are put in place where the AI doesn't go crazy? Given that as a fact and behind our back and our mind, I wanted to ask, what do you use for generative AI now? So, I know a lot of us, when we understand, before we go there, how many of you guys use ChatGPT? Raise your hand. Okay, good. All right. So, ChatGPT is just the basic. Imagine that's the wheel. Now we have used wheel to build a lot of things on top, right? And it will change in the next 2 to 3 years. I tell a lot of corporate executives, you have 2 to 3 years incubation sleeping mode. 2 to 3 years from now, a lot of new disruptive technology will come out. Your business can either be gone overnight, like BlackBerry because of iPhone, or Kodak because of Nokia, right? So you better think, what is it that's going to be possible that will kill your business with generative AI and do something about it. So what is Microsoft doing with generative AI? I want to know.
Well, that's simple. We are enabling you to use generative AI, right? So we, well, the